I went through these, and I actually had to rank them. It took me a little bit to rank them because I was like, where do I like these? Where do they
It's on
fall?
FX.
Yeah, I mean, this is on FX. This is a good show. It's been good. It's not without its wokeness, so don't get me wrong. There is like a gay Spanish character who is in there and has woke moments, but the overall show is funny and always pretty good. And it's been good. It's one of the shows that all the stuff I've seen, 5 seasons of this has all been good.
Is it related to the uh, Kata Waititi guy, or whatever the fuck his name is?
It was because there was a movie with him and Jermaine Clement that they did the first movie.
I thought he was like a producer or some shit of it.
Oh yeah, he's still got to have his money in it because he still had the original idea. Yeah. But you know what's funny? Like I'll say, like I like that movie a lot, and you'd be like, "Oh, the original's better." I think the show ultimately has been way better than that movie. That movie's good too. I
What
like it, but
movie?
the What We Do in the Shadows movie, that's what created this. The movie.
With Johnny Depp?
No, it has Taika
Oh, I'm thinking
Waititi.
of Dark Shadows, that Tim Burton movie
Yeah, this has
with
Taika Waititi
Michelle
and
Pfeiffer
Jermaine
and
Clement.
Ava Green.
Yeah, this has like the people from the Flight of the Concords in the original movie.
Yeah, I thought the Tata Waikiki guy and Flight of the Concords were connected.
They are connected to this. They're like the producers of this show. But as a TV show and as like something episodic, it's definitely been better than that original movie. And I think that's a lot
Isn't
of
it
it is
supposed to
because
be some like
Matt Berry.
Office type Parks and Rec, 30 Rock style thing?
Yeah, kind of because they're a documentary crew following them. But that was how the movie was too. The movie was like, yeah, I guess the movie did follow that format. But Matt Berry in this show is just like genius. So it's like he's hilarious in it, and can't get enough of him. I'd say
From the IT crowd and Mr. the Almighty Boosh or
yeah,
something.
he's in the Mighty Boosh, Snuffbox, and
Snuffbox, yeah.
was it Toast of London? He has a show. He's all around good. I feel like you can't really go wrong with Matt Berry.
Doesn't he have a pretty serious like musical side project thing too?
I think so. I liked all his music. I've seen his music. It's really good. All the things I've
But I've
seen
seen
with him
him
are
do
good.
like live, like a touring
I
band.
could see it, man, because he's good. Like the stuff is good. But I'll have to say, it's like if he wasn't, I feel like if he wasn't, a little famous, I think none of that stuff would be big. You know what I mean? Like again, I
Well,
don't
yeah,
think
a
I
lot
think
of actors
yeah.
parlay. Like Bruce Willis, he's got a band. You probably didn't know that.
No, I didn't know that one. I thought
Johnny
he's
Depp
like
in
dementia. Does he have dementia now? He's like he probably can't even play guitar now.
yeah, no, yeah. I think it was like 2 years ago. Him and Robert De Niro, they found out like they just can't act anymore. Oh no, not Robert De Niro, somebody else.
Man, no, you're right on Robert De Niro. I've seen him in some stuff recently. You're right on that.
Yeah, The Irishman. That happened right before The Irishman, but nobody told him to stop making it.
No, I've seen like that. He's in some shitty comedy movie with I was gonna put it on. I was thinking about putting it on the list too. That
Zac Efron,
Maniscalco,
Bad Grandpa.
Maniscalco, something like that. That
Oh, I thought you were
Sebastian.
talking about the Zac Efron movie with him and.
No, it's from this year. Sebastian Maniscalco or something. Some
Oh
Italian guy.
yeah,
That's not
fuck.
funny. And his movie
That's
was not
getting
funny.
like that guy paid for a ton of YouTube ads because they constantly are in the rotation of shit you get.
Super boomer Italian comedy. They'll love it, kind of thing. Number 9 was Beef, and I like Beef. So
Yeah, I heard a lot of good things about it. The Asian guy from Walking Dead's in it.
yeah, he was really good in it. He's good. I mean, the story's good. He's definitely the standout. He's a good actor. It's like it shows you he should be in a lot more things.
Didn't we see like a movie he was in where people like are going crazy for some reason or something in a office building?
Oh yeah, he is in that. Yeah, yeah, yeah. I remember exactly. It's like I know exactly what you're talking about. I forget what it's called. Isn't that like all first person or some bullshit or
I don't know how. I feel
all
like
one shot?
people
There's some
maybe
gimmick
watched
to it.
some of it, but not all of it. Not enough for me to remember what it was.
Yeah, I remember
But
that. But
Steve Hume, right?
this
And
show was really
didn't
good.
he,
Stephen
doesn't he
Hume,
have
yes.
a? He was in a movie that was Oscar nominated and shit. Where
Something
it's like
Minari.
yeah, Minari. It's like an Asian family that moves to the United States and they try farming and like a bunch of horrible shit happens.
Yeah, and he's also good in I mean, I have to say I think he's just a good actor. He's good in Nope too. Like the little part he has there is good. I think he's all around pretty good. I think it's maybe this is me being woke, but I feel like if he wasn't Asian, I think he'd get a lot more parts because I think he is a good actor. I think he's kind of typecast though now.
Well, he might be getting a lot more parts than you're aware of in a different market.
That could be the case. I mean, I think this show will actually be enough to hype him up. Number 8, the season 3 of Righteous Gemstones. I really liked it, but I think it is the worst of the seasons. I'll say that. It wasn't their best, but it was good. You had all the cast of characters back. Plus,
I got my HBO stuff taken off the Apple TV because it's so old. So I'm only on the season with Eric Andre.
Did you finish that one?
I only got a few episodes. I was like watching my parents' dog, and they had it on some kind of like rerun or some shit. And it was like an episode where the father reunites with like this old guy who like his father was like a kind of drug runner, and like he worked for him as a
wrestler thing. There's a wrestling story in that.
Guy's like almost having sex with his girlfriend in the bar or the restaurant, and he says like, you're really making everybody uncomfortable. And then they meet the guy in the parking lot and they beat the shit out of him.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah. No, that show's fucking good.
Yeah, that season I think might have been the best one too. Like
the second.
Yeah, I think so. I mean, the first and the second were better.
Is Eric Andre and him are trying to like establish some beach resort thing, but then
Zion,
John Goodman's like not into it.
Yeah, it goes good though. There's a twist to that whole thing. But here's the season 3 trailer. Just a teaser. This is quick. I don't think they show a lot in this.
It was a long ride, but I knew eventually I would make it to the top.
Can we get taken down for this, or it's okay?
I think it's quick.
I'm the main decider. We're all deciders, Jesse.
Oh, that's some Illuminati shit.
Grow up.
It's time!
We're picking up where Eli Gemstone left off, a man who's done this job for like thousands of years and is America's Jesus daddy.
These are not people of God. They're entertainers, performers, charlatans.
They're fucking crazy. Super religious, love their guns.
One of our largest benefactors is departing.
You gotta give us another shot.
Won't you battle for me?
Fucking Simpkins. I'll drive on behalf of my family.
Ew, what are you doing?
Ow,
Jesse.
Hold your hands. Just let it happen. Let it happen, fuckers.
Ugh.
On behalf of my family, I will drive too.
Ew, it's so awkward.
I like a Steve Zahn in the show. He was a good
Yeah.
character. The story wasn't that great though. I will say that it wasn't the best.
Steve Zahn's like always okay as the kind of comic relief guy to the lead, like who's hotter than him or something. He actually had this one leading role, this movie called Strange Wilderness, which
I like
not
Strange
that
Wilderness.
bad.
Yeah,
It's
Jonah Hill
not
is like
good,
a
but it's
character.
like it's
good.
kind of it's almost like a boner. It's like a boner.
I feel like it's Happy Madison too. I think it's Happy Madison. I think it's Adam Sandler's. I'm gonna say I'm pretty sure.
Boner wildlife documentary.
I feel like it's somehow related to Adam Sandler.
There's a
They
woman
got
I
that
work
one
with
guy in it.
that looks just like the sister from this, and every time I see them, I can't like unsee it or take them serious as a person.
Yeah, because they got the Grandma's Boy guy in it. I'm right. Yeah, it's Happy Madison. Alan Covert is in it. That's anytime he's in any movie, you know it's actually made by Adam Sandler because he wouldn't be any other movie if it was anyone's choice other than him.
He's one of the gay guys in Big Daddy.
Yes. He's Grandma's boy, the main guy of Grandma's boy.
Yeah,
Good in that
he's,
part.
Is he
Like, that
he's
part
not
really
the
fit him.
Montana guy in the Water Boy.
He's the gay guy with the bulldog dog and Little Nicky too. You know, like
I don't remember
gay
much of
dog
Little
guy.
Nicky. That shit grossed me out.
Yeah, no, I saw some channel like talking about it. And I was like, wow, this movie's fucking really weird and bad and
Yeah, it's
awful.
real bad.
Like Dana Carvey has like a ref with like a demon in him. It was like terrible. Oh man, that's embarrassing, that show. Speaking of embarrassing, Star Trek Picard. Speaking of embarrassing, just say Star Trek. Star Trek Picard season 3 was really good. Awesome, actually. In fact, this was great. I almost was like debating like, should this be higher on my list?
Really?
Yeah, I was like thinking like, I thought about it. It's like, and I
Oh,
kept
on
going
the
like,
bottom
what did
right,
I like
they
better?
got that big-titted motherfucker.
Yeah, they got her in there. Jesse something, right?
What did
7 and 9.
Red Letter Media crew think of it?
Oh, they loved it, man. This was like, honestly, man, this
Did
was
they go
legit.
through
Like,
all of it?
yeah, they did,
shit,
and they went
Data's
through all each
back?
episode. They brought everyone back. Yeah, they brought everyone back because this was basically the send off to the end of, like, this is the end of Picard and anything. Like, this was really good because the movies were like the last time you saw these people, and they never really ended it good. So this was like a true good ending. It was really good. Like, I have to say, this was great. Like, it was really good, especially if you like the Next Generation. This was great. It was actually like a nice
Are any
ending. Like,
of
it was
the people
surprising.
that
It was
should have
surprising.
been this missing because they died?
No, everyone's alive. They're actually lucky. The whole crew of TNG is alive. And I would think honestly, the only one who's probably up there is Patrick Stewart. He's probably the one that's up there the most. So
Did you ever
everyone
hear
else,
about,
and then
Jerry Ryan? She was dating this politician, and there was some scandal
Oh,
where
yeah.
he was
She was, like,
paying money for her to have sex.
pouring
with
her
him.
out, right? Yeah.
Yeah, he was
She was
getting
getting
her
MK
cuffed
Ultra'd.
out.
Yeah. Yeah, and she's not in the Next Generation. She was kind of an add-in, and they had some other add-ins. They had some characters from Voyager that showed up in a little bit. They had some stuff that were like didn't really make sense to Picard, but they were in there. And then they had like this other lady here is from I guess the other Picard seasons that I didn't see. So there was a little bit of connection to the other seasons, but it was like 5 minutes. It was funny how they like disregarded all the other seasons. This was just like basically TNG reunion, and it was so good. The fact that like it was a new writer, new director. He was like really into the old stuff, and it's all done. It's like they don't like every Star Trek fans wants them to keep going with this new guy, but like I don't think the powers that be want him. Which is, again, they never want to do what the nerds like. This is like, it's very liked. But it shows you if people like it, they don't want to do that these days. But it was definitely good to see. Worf and Riker. Riker was in there, a big part of it. LeVar Burton's has 2 daughters, and I think his actual daughter played one of his daughters. The only one who died in this is Data. His character gets his character sacrifices.
No, I thought he died in real life.
No, he's alive. His character Data sacrifices himself, but like they kind of had a bullshit way of putting him back, which that wasn't great. I mean, there are bad episodes in the season. Like, not every episode is good, but then there are some episodes in the season that are up there for some of the best Star Trek I've seen. So I'll say it's like there's some really good shit in this one. Very good. Also, good tone. Had a good serious tone. It really like swayed the line of newer Star Trek and older Star Trek, and actually made it feel one, which I think no one's done. That's why I like that. I forget this guy's name is. Whoever did this, like the guy who did this was genius. Like, and I know Red Letter Media thought the same thing. Like, they liked this. It was shocking. This whole season was an anomaly because no one would thought this would be good. So this was actually nice.
Everything up until this point was terrible.
Yeah, it was like a really, really bad show. I've only heard like season 1 of Picard and season 2
what
were
happened?
like
Did they get like
terrible.
different production and writing and directing?
No, well, different director and writer. So basically, this Kurtzman guy has taken over new Star Trek for like a long time, and all the Star Trek people hate him. And he basically like was like, I give up on Picard. I'll let this guy come in, and they let this other guy come in, and he like was like awesome. And it was like, and then I think now he's pissed that actually people liked it, kind of thing, because Kurtzman was the guy
What's
running this
weird
whole
to
thing.
me, though, is like there's this, and then there's that Star Trek movie version with the Chris Pine guy and shit.
Yeah, that guy's not that bad either. I didn't
No, I'm not
I
saying
didn't
he's
mind
bad
Chris
or
Pine
anything.
in
It's
it.
just like there's these two different, like there's like the TV version and the movie version, and both have gone on for several movies or seasons.
Yeah, no. Okay, the guy's name is Terry Matalas, by the way. Terry Matalas, and he worked on. He's young. He's probably. Oh, he's not that young. He's 48. He worked on. He's from New Jersey too. All these people,
No,
man.
that's not young at all.
He looks young. You look at his picture, you think you saw a picture of him, you think he's like 30. He looks like that.
Well, maybe
But,
the pictures from another time.
Some of the first things he worked on were like 12 Monkeys. He's worked on good shit. Like he's got some
Yeah.
good shit in the pipe
So
there.
he's got some Terry Gilliam connection.
Yeah, he worked on Enterprise as a writer back in 2003, like early Star Trek in 2003.
Did you see
12
any
Monkeys.
of the 12 Monkeys TV reboot?
I didn't see that.
I didn't
Oh, never
either.
mind. That's
I
what
just
this guy
saw-
worked
I
on.
saw, like, the trailers at the time, but I didn't watch any of it.
No, this guy worked on that. He worked on the 12 Monkeys TV show as well. But
And the movie.
and that makes me actually think it could be good because this guy is good. Like this director, writer guy is really good. He knows his shit, or unless he just knows how to like. He knew what like Star Trek fans want, which I think a lot of people don't. You know, like a lot of these Hollywood people, they don't know what the people actually want to like appease. Like you want to appease the old fans and then get new fans. Like,
Well, it might not even be about them thinking what they want. It's like they're just forcing them to want what they want.
you know what? You know what? This guy. You know what? I actually realized this guy feels a lot like James Gunn, but like not as like.
He looks like him. Do you have a photo?
No, just his feeling of the way he writes and directs. It feels like James Gunn, but not so jokey. So I don't know. It's hard to explain.
The trauma.
You know, he's not, but it's a weird. If you know, I don't know. If you know, kind of thing. Number 6, we talked about this. One Piece. I loved One Piece. I thought it was great.
Yeah, I thought it'd
put
be
it high on the
higher.
list. No, there's some things. There's some things I was like, do I like it better? And I was like, I kept going through. I was like, what do I like better? And then I like stacked them on top of each other because like, do I like that better? This is a personal list. This isn't a.
Well, if people are interested, we have several episodes covering One Piece a lot more in depth.
And this was a great show. I have to say, it's a great show. I think
We
a
probably
lot of
should
people like it.
like link that stuff, but it might be hard to dig up.
Yeah, I think it takes a certain person. I wouldn't say this is for everyone. You know, if you're like 50 years old, you might not like One Piece, but I would assume a lot of I'd say everyone, you know, mid 30s and younger will probably like this.
What happens at 50?
I just don't think it's. I just think a lot of those people don't know anything that relates to Japanese animation. I think we have a little bit more of a, you know, a lead into any kind of thing like that. You know, like we had Pokemon as kids, we had Sailor Moon, we had some things that like interjected into our childhood that I don't think would have been even someone 40. They would have not had these things. You know, we didn't even have the most of it. We didn't have the most of that. We just had a little touch of it, I feel like. Now kids like have tons of this. Like animation these days is like Japanese animation. We just had like a couple shows. You know, Dragon Ball Z, Pokemon, Sailor Moon, like that's what we had. And I know there are other shows that were older or whatever, but they weren't mainstream
Sailor Moon?
popular. Sailor Moon was popular, I remember, as in.
Yeah, no,
You know.
I just I don't remember much of it. I remember
I never saw it. I think it's kind of like a lesbian show.
I remember this awkward interview with what was that fucking? It's like a gaming TV show where Olivia Munn was dressed as a Sailor Moon character interviewing
G4?
Aziz Ansari.
It was G4?
Yeah, it was G4. Yeah.
Oh wow, I didn't know Aziz Ansari would have made that. That's cool.
Yeah, he got weirdly canceled for
Yeah, it's
really
been
no
like-
reason.
I think it's been 20 years since G4 aired too. So
And that
Goes
was
back
like
a while.
right around the time of his TV show coming out.
oh
And
yeah,
his specials were doing really well. Like he really got fucked over hard for.
yeah, he definitely did.
Not
It didn't
much.
seem like he ever recovered from it either. You know, like,
No, I know.
don't hear
Yeah,
about
it's
him
kind
ever.
of fucked. I mean,
But
I never
I
really
still think-
liked it that much. I'm just remembering like his career at the time and how hard it got derailed because he
Yeah,
had
I
some
still think
really
he could
good
do
specials.
okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, his
he was
comedy
on,
specials are pretty good.
Parks and Rec, and all of it just seemed to disintegrate off of
Yeah.
some bullshit.
Yeah, it sucks, man. I don't think it's funny how I don't think he's someone who deserved it either. I'm sure I don't know. He might still be able to sell live tickets, and he probably does. I don't know what Aziz Ansari does. I really don't.
Not from what
hope
it
he sells
sounded like,
tickets.
it was really mild of an allegation that got
No,
caught
it
up
was like
in
not
a
an
lot more
allegation.
serious of
It was
stuff.
a bad date. It was a bad date. That's it.
yeah,
bad
and,
date.
and
That he didn't even try to like. I don't think he tried to have sex with. It was like just a bad, regular bad date that got popular on the internet, which is like horrible. Like that's
I just
terrible.
think the timing of it was connected to like either the inception or peak of the Me Too stuff, to where anything that happened was just perceived worse than it actually was, no matter what it actually happened.
Yeah, I think
And
so.
nobody was questioning anything reported whatsoever. Like anything initially said was fact, and nobody questioned it, and that was it. And so you were just kind of done.
Well, speaking of Indians, the first time I ever heard of this animation was from a friend I had who was Indian. He liked the One Piece, the anime, and he told me about it, and I was like, oh, I'll check it out. And then I saw it, and I was like, no, I don't like this. And
Somebody
I
you
still,
work with.
this was going back years ago. Like I'm telling you, like the first time I heard of One Piece was in 2017. So I heard
You
of
just
it
wrote
then.
off.
No, I mean I tried watching it. Just like I'm not a big anime fan, but even and subsequently after this show, I tried to like watch it. I watched the first season of One Piece. Just still like I don't know. It's not my thing. I'm not a big anime person other than like Samurai Champloo or like Studio Ghibli, like kind of the more serious.
What's Samurai
pieces.
Champloo?
It was on Adult Swim. It has like these samurais and they're like there's like rap music in the background.
Oh,
It's really good. That I mean that show is it's only one
Rizzo?
season. Yeah, I think Rizuka. It was by the company that did the animation during the Kill Bill sequence, like that really gory Kill Bill sequence. So it's like a good animator guy.
yeah, that's
It's a good season. Good season. It's one season.
when
Samurai
They
Champloo.
introduced Lucy Liu's character, that she's an assassin who becomes the head of the Yakuza, and then it goes to the sequence where they're all like at dinner and she cuts their heads off.
Yeah, and the Samurai Champloo, it's like it's one season, but it all kind of wraps itself up. It was like meant to be one season. It's like 20 something episodes, and that's it. And it's like you could tell it was obviously meant to just be those. It wasn't meant to be anything more. So there's that. But One Piece, I know it's like on. I think it's at like 1,000 episodes. I don't know. It's like crazy how many episodes of this anime are. I'm gonna search it. How many episodes? I mean, it's been going on since like 1998. There's 1,088 episodes of this show, the anime of One Piece, and movies. I think there's like 3 or 4. I'm sorry, not 3 or 4. There's 15 movies. 15 movies. 1,088 episodes. So there's a lot of this show. So if you like it, you got a lot of content to go see.
It's interesting how like that franchise has existed for so long, and then this can come out, and it's almost like it's completely new for people. Like it never happened.
Well, yeah, it was for me. Yeah, I'm that kind of crowd because I don't like anime. So
No,
yeah,
you knew about it though.
I knew of it, but for a lot of people, it will be completely new and will introduce.
Yeah,
them.
I got to finish the second season of The Bear. I started
Yeah,
that,
this was up here for me.
and what's that fucking superhero movie?
The Boys.
Yeah, that and The Boys. I started the second season and never finished either.
Yeah, I love the Bear. I like the Bear. There's some they're probably like the best episodes in the Bear are in season 2. But then there are some like okay episodes, but like there's 2 episodes that
Do you
really
mean
stand
episodes,
out.
or do you mean like clips?
There's 2 episodes that really stand out, and I think the other episodes are okay. I think I overall like the first season better, but there's 2 episodes in this season that are better than the first season, and better than anything they've done.
It seems like it's the same with music. Like after the first album, it's really hard to follow up certain things, especially if there's a lot of expectations and
Yeah. And also a lot of this is like the one episode is a cousin episode where it just deals with him. That's all I'll say.
yeah.
And, like,
I saw a review kind of breakdown of
I'm
it.
sure they talk about that
He
episode. I
goes-
know what they're going to talk about.
He goes like to work at a high-end restaurant and
Yes,
just
that's the
eats
best
booze
episode of the
and-
season.
and forks the whole time, but then he has like a newfound appreciation of what they're doing, and then he wants to try and treat his daughter and family better, and just realizes like how much of a piece of shit, and he's kind of been wasting his life away bullshitting around doing drugs and stuff.
Yeah, and also his like capability of like he is capable of being in this business outside of whatever he was doing. So it was a good story. Like it was a very encompassed story where it was almost like a little short film. And then
It's
the
nice
second
to see
episode,
the guy from Walking Dead, like the first couple seasons, the psycho guy, who's Rick's.
Merle.
No, not Merle. The
Negan.
Italian guy.
Negan?
No, the brother who kills himself and leaves.
Oh,
the-
Shane.
Yeah, it's nice to see him still like in
He's
stuff.
He's always good. That was again the next episode of this season was the Christmas episode, which is a flashback to when Shane is still alive, and Jamie Lee Curtis is the mom, and it was just like this nightmare
I've
Christmas
seen
scenario.
a bunch of clips of
That
this
was the best
with,
episode. Like,
who's
that was
guy
probably
from
the best
Better
episode.
Call Saul and Mr. Show.
Yeah, and then what's his name? I know what you're talking about.
Fuck.
Yeah, drawing a blank, getting Bob
But
Odenkirk.
I've seen like so many.
Yeah, Bob Odenkirk.
I've seen so many clips of this whole like season or sequence getting used over and over again. Not like memes, but sorta. I guess they kind of get memed out.
Yeah, that episode is great. Like, really good. That's like also kind of a standalone episode. Like, both those episodes were both very standalone. And then, I don't know, there's some characters in this show I don't like. Like, I don't like the fat guy who has a cooking show on YouTube. I'm not a fan of him.
Matty
I think he
Matheson.
sucks.
Yeah, he's very obnoxious.
And then I think I'm a little bit alone in this, but I don't like the black girl. I think she's a
I
very,
don't
very
like her
big.
either. She's
No, but like the internet loves
annoying,
her. The internet loves her.
obnoxious fuck. No, that was my.
I'm not
issue with the
opposed to
first
her character.
season.
I just think she's an overactor. I think she's an overactor, and like to me, I sometimes I'll be able
I
to
don't
figure
know. I
out.
think part of it is just her character is very unlikable, and then in turn,
I
you
guess
just,
so.
you
I think
don't like
she's
the person
try
playing
hard.
it, you know.
I just think she's a tryhard as an
Like, haven't
actress.
you found
Like,
that?
I just
with
don't think
lot of
she's a good
people
actress.
Where they continually get casted in parts you don't like, and then all of a sudden, you're like just assuming that's how the person is off screen, and
Yeah.
you don't like the actor, even though they could.
Yeah,
be
this is also gonna sound
completely different than the role.
terribly racist to me, but also the black guy I think sucks too. I think he's also an overactor.
The cupcake
then-
guy.
And then I think the Latina woman is also not a good actress. So I mean, I guess I'm sounding racist, but I think they're all not
I
good.
think what you're saying is like some of the bit parts get too much like screen
Well,
time.
maybe
or
also the main
investment
guy.
in-
I think the main guy might outshadow them a little bit too, and even Cousin outshadows them a little bit too. It could be that. Even the Cousin guy at first, I was like, this guy's a little bit of an overactor. Then it kind of grew on you, the character.
Well,
His
part of it
character
also
grew on
is,
you.
like, the characters do really stupid, annoying shit for no reason to like fuck over the guy trying to run the business. You know, like why
Like,
is
he just
this
feels
guy,
super realistic. I
like
think
why
that's
is
what's
this
nice
guy
about him.
investing all his time into making fucking cupcakes instead of actually making fucking cupcakes for the orders they had coming in? You know?
Yeah. Yep.
It's like, and then what I like about the show is like they fucking
But
take him
definitely worth
to task
watching.
and say like, listen, man, if you need to get your shit together, or you're fucking done here.
Yeah. Definitely 100% worth watching The Bear, both seasons. So
Yeah,
There-
no, I'm
it has its,
gonna
it has its
revisit
faults,
it.
but it's worth
Actually,
watching.
I feel like I need to rewatch like the last couple episodes of season 1 before season 2, just so I know where it's coming from.
This is another thing. I had to check my calendar
Isn't
to
this based
be
off a
like, was
video
this?
game?
Yeah, it is. But I had to check my calendar. I was like, did this come out this year? It came out early in last year. It's funny how
That's something I
it's like a January, February
run through
show.
with music is like something will come out in the beginning of the year and then it's completely lost. And then
Yeah, this was great.
hopefully
It's
people
almost
remember it 9-10 months down the road when they're doing their year-end list, because it's almost suicide to have like shit come out the beginning of the year. You know, unless it's like really impactful, it's gonna get lost in the shuffle eventually.
Yeah, and this was a great season. I liked it. It definitely
Isn't
had
this
its
with that big
wokeness.
chin motherfucker from the Met Gala stuff?
Yeah, and I thought she was super annoying. So I will say, like, there's caveats to this show.
And
Also,
it's
I feel
from,
like
what's
show,
that guy?
she had a very perfect from The Mandalorian, the Game of Thrones, Pedro Pascal.
Isn't he in?
He had the Met Gala photos we were talking about, where he's like,
No,
wearing
yeah, I
short-
know he had that like weird red
like Nazi
raincoat
shorts,
shit
yeah,
on.
Nazi Soviet shorts.
Before that, like, is he known from like Narcos?
That's after.
Oh,
Game of Thrones, I think, is what kind of got him some parts.
oh yeah,
But
shit.
it's good, man.
He's like
I
fucking
like
his
it.
sister.
It definitely has its
And then,
caveats.
they have the hot daughters that
The Sand Snakes.
yeah.
Yeah, it's got its caveats, man. It's a good show. It's a little woke for sure. So don't, there's a whole episode with Nick Offerman being gay with his boyfriend or husband or whatever. So that's a whole episode. But it's still good. It was one of those things that I kind of wish it's all about this big journey. Like basically
Wait,
he's got to
Nick
get.
Offerman is in The Last of Us.
Yeah, he's got a whole episode. He's like a prepper. It's actually his episode's cool.
Doomsday
It's a really good
prepper?
episode. He's like
With
this like
a
big.
bunker full of stuff.
He like preps the whole town. Like everyone leaves and he like takes over the town. He like locks down this little town. And so the town is basically being run by him and he's got it all like gated off and like he's got like the whole setup like where no zombies or anything are coming in or whatever. Like he's got this perfect. And then like this guy comes through and he like, all right, I'll help this guy out. Then they like have like a relationship or whatever. And then it turns like 10 years later, they're like a couple. It's weird. It's a whole thing. It was good. But definitely has some woke vibes.
I give it some water.
My whole issue with My whole issue with this show is I just wanted this to be a harder journey. Like the whole point of this show is he's got to get this girl across the country to another group. And I won't really give you the details why. I think it's a show worth watching. So, or if you know the video game, you'll know exactly what I'm talking about. But show worth watching. And I just thought when I was watching this show, like I just wanted to be a lot harder. Like I could have had them do this first, like they could have made this first season 3 seasons. You could have like made every episode a lot like very hard for them to move from point A to point B. And like I would have liked that. You could have stretched things out. Everything kind of like, at the end of this season, I felt like all right, this is definitively over. I was like, you don't have to do anymore. Like this was a good end. So the fact that there's more things coming from this, I feel like are disappointing because I think this had a nice, perfect ending for what it was, and I'm glad if this would have been over. Like if someone just said like, "Oh yeah, that's all they're doing," I'd be like, "Oh, awesome. That was a good way to end it. Ended very cool." Like ended very realistic, very cool. But or again, like I said, you could have took this season and really stretched things out where along the way it takes them long to get from point A to point B. There's issues along the way, which I just felt like they didn't have a lot of conflict. Like it felt like very in the zombie world, it felt them zombie mushroom people, whatever. It felt very easy for them to get from point A to point B. I was very disappointed in that. I kept thinking like, oh, this is awesome. It's gonna be so tough for them to get like a mile. Like that's what I wanted. I wanted like every mile to be like a struggle, a journey, But no, at the end of the fucking season, they get from the East Coast, from Boston to like Montana, and it's all in like 8 episodes. Like I that's terrible. Like you had hours and hours and hours of time spent getting there. That should have took you. To me, like that's something you could at least fill up at least 2 seasons, and then like where we left off at season 1 could have been like your end of season 2. That's what I would have done with this. That would have been my choice. I would have. I've only heard bad things about the next game. I've heard The Last of Us 2 is very disliked the story, and I do know what happens, so I wouldn't ever spoil that for people. But kind of hope they don't do it. I kind of hope they veer away from the game of what happens early in The Last of Us, the video game too. Because I know it's like initial thing. It's like a big thing happens on the second game. A big thing happens that if you know, you know. And I unfortunately know, I guess just from the grapevine. But hope they don't do that because that will change the dynamic of the show a lot. Kind of hope it, like I said, I kind of hope it would just should have ended after season 1. That would have been a perfect ending. Like you don't have to go anymore, but it's TV and it's money and it's HBO. Like would have been super nice to see a show being like, yeah, we really liked our first season. That's where we want to end it. Like that would have been nice. Not like Willow. It's nice to see something like know when to quit. Sometimes you got to know when to quit. Seinfeld did that good. He knew when to go out. Even then, it was a long running show, but went on too long. Number 3 on my list here. Bake Off, season 14. This is if you like this is also again. This is a personal list, so I kept going through like what did I like better? What I like better? Like what I like better than these shows? And I like the Great British Bake Off. Love me the Great British Bake Off. So this season was pretty good as well. So such a relaxing show too. If you know about the Great British Bake Off, has this great cinematography. It's definitely the best shot cooking show that I've ever seen. And I will say that I think this season things were a little bit lacking production wise because a lot of shaky cam. I saw some shaky cam and I was like, you shouldn't have shaky cam on Bake Off. Like, get the fuck out of here with that. And I've seen too much of the show to know like the show should be like calm. But yeah, this is a great show. I love every season of this that I've seen. This season ended disappointingly, as the last couple ones have. But love me some Paul Hollywood. Love me some Prue Leaf. And if you like the Great British Bake Off, you probably like the season. I thought it was pretty good. Got to put it number 3 on my list.
What the fuck is this shit? A cooking show?
It's the best cooking show. It's the Great British Bake Off.
What's so great about it?
It's the best baking show there is, man. It's all these home cooks.
What was number 4?
The Last of Us.
Oh, okay.
So I said this is a
Wait,
personal
what the
list.
fuck? This is.
I personally like this.
Isn't
number
this
3.
like a documentary or some shit?
It's a reality show, so I will say this is a reality show. I struggle with
somebody on
TV
it that's
shows
really
sometimes.
funny, or like I don't understand the draw.
It's got the Mighty Boosh guy, who's one of the hosts, the goth looking guy.
The one that like lives in that weird room in the IT crowd basement.
That's the guy, yeah. What's his name? Noel Fielding.
But like I don't understand. Like what happens every episode? They just sit and make fucking cakes and That's
Well, they make
hilarious.
different things. I mean, that's one thing I will say. They make a lot of things that we don't have here. Maybe because it's British, but they make a lot of good stuff, man.
Did you
I'm a
have it
fan
when
of.
you went over there?
No, I never had any of that, but I'm definitely a fan of the Bake Off. It's also like I was saying, I think you're away, but it has this like it's like the best shot cooking show I've ever seen. They're in a tent in the summer, so it's like they're outside and they have just like really nicely shot things. That's all I can say with it. It's just a very nicely shot. It's a very relaxing show. It's you can even look this up. Like look up shows good for anxiety and you'll see the people talking about this.
Okay,
show.
so it's almost like listening to ambient music or field recordings or something.
Yeah, it's hard to explain, but it definitely is. It's actually
then-
kind of like that.
It's like really soothing stuff with people putting like baking ingredients in bowls.
Yeah, a little bit. I mean, they're outside, so there'll be like some.
I definitely want to check the shit out now because I'm curious why it's so high.
Yeah, it's my favorite show of this. I mean, I like this show though. I watch it all the time. Like the next one coming up is also very similar. It's a personal preference. I'm trying to find maybe there'll be a trailer for this.
No, I've it's funny. It's like I've heard several times how great the show is. I always wondered why and like what's going on. So I'm definitely gonna. Is it on Plex?
Oh, I have this season on Plex and probably the last couple ones, but
Okay,
it goes back pretty far.
Yeah, I'm definitely gonna check it out.
It goes back pretty far.
Part of me thought it was like a bunch of British people, Gordon Ramsaying, just yelling and screaming at each other while they make.
Oh
cakes.
no, it's like everyone's so nice to each other. It's like the exact opposite of an American show. That's also what's nice about it. Like everyone's very nice.
Well, no,
like,
Kitchen Nightmares is
respect-
not American. That's a British show that got adapted.
Well, yeah, but
Wasn't
what's
it?
not Kitchen
Maybe it's
Nightmares?
the other way around.
Not
One
Kitchen
of them.
Nightmares. You're thinking of the other one, the one with the competition.
Hell's Kitchen.
Hell's Kitchen. Yeah, Hell's Kitchen is also very like even the British one and the American one. They like pit everyone against each other. It's like very like douchey. Like everyone, it's almost like Survivor. They're all trying to like throw people under the bus. Like this show is like the exact opposite. Like everyone's very nice to each other.
Like try and sabotage each other during service and fuck over the whole thing.
Yes. Yeah. Like exactly. They don't do that in this show. It's very different. They're also all home cooks, so they're not really like professional people, but they do good stuff.
But isn't
Some
it
of
a
the, I mean,
competition?
yeah, it is. And some of the people have gone on to do like books and their own stuff. So like a lot of people have created their career from this. This Italian guy was amazing called Giuseppe. He was fucking great. I'll have to say, like
Yeah,
this
I
season.
think I saw a clip of him and Gordon Ramsay driving around, and he had the navigation set to Gordon Ramsay's voice. So it was like really awkward because they were telling him like to go left or right while he's sitting there.
Yeah, I'd say like it's funny, the last couple seasons, like the last season where there was like 3 people that probably could have beat anyone in this new season. So I will say like, I think this was a weaker season, but still, if you like Bake Off, you like
Well,
this.
what's the grading? Like, what makes one better than the other?
You could just tell, man, they were just better, like better decorating, better looking like stuff. I mean, it
Okay,
just
so
seemed
you're like a cake scout.
yeah, if you're a cake scout, you know, or well, honestly, they don't do a lot of cakes, a lot of pastries, a lot of breads. They have bread, like they'll do bread, they'll do biscuits, which are cookies over here.
Oh yeah, I
know.
love biscuits. Fuck.
Yes, well, biscuits to them are cookies, and cookies are biscuits over
Oh.
there. Yeah, so
Well, okay. What do they call biscuits? Crumpets?
that's a scone. A scone.
Oh
over there.
shit! Yeah, it's like drier.
Honestly, basically, what we call biscuits are scones, technically. Really are. Kind of the same thing. But, you know, they'll do French pastries because, you know, they got the French influence over there. They actually, like, you know, legitimate stuff. They'll do savory
Well,
stuff, too.
Most like, if you go to school for cooking, it's based on French cuisine. So that's kind of just the standard.
Yeah, and also, I mean, the baking
But the
shit, man,
bear
they make some
guy,
crazy
I'm
shit.
pretty sure he worked in French cuisine and stuff.
Oh, yeah. And so this is another show. Again, this is personal preference, but I like this show Alone a lot. This is probably one of my favorite shows. So that's why I gotta put it up here.
I
And
don't
this
think
was a
I've
good
seen
season.
any trailers or anything from it.
It's on like Discovery Channel, or it might be History Channel. It's one of those.
Oh, is
And
this
it's-
like some Naked and Afraid shit?
Naked and Afraid sucks. I guess maybe I'm too much of an Alone person, but Alone is like I don't like that shit. Naked and Afraid is you have 10 items that you go out there with. You have 10 items, and it's like whoever lasts the longest. Naked and Afraid is like you're there for like a month and then you're gone. This is whoever lasts longest gets $500,000. And some of these people stay out here for like 90 days, and they go into like the Canadian Arctic. So it's like
I know, but do you
fucking
really like? This just feels like reality television where they want you to think this shit is real and it's just completely manipulated.
no, so I've listened to podcasts about the people who are on. I mean, also, by the way, all these people are like these, like Patagonia. Like they're all people who aren't like wealthy or anything. They're like survivalist people, like they'll go on these podcasts.
You don't think they're just making all this shit up to have something?
No, because a lot of these
sell?
people have legit medical records. Like a lot of these people, they will fuck up their bodies. That will take them like a year or two to actually get back to normal life.
Okay.
So a lot of it isn't good. Like even the people that lose, and a lot of people have to actually get ejected from the game because they're too malnourished, or they've lost too much weight, or they're starting to have organ damage.
Is this related to that Bear Grylls guy?
Now he was also fake. He was fake. The best one was Survivor Man, and then this Survivor Man and Alone are like the best legit shit. And they have to film themselves, by the way. So they give you like 10 cameras, and you have to film yourself. So a lot of like there's not a lot of check-ins here. The only time they check in on you is later in the game when they want to do medical checks. That's basically
Okay.
it. But here's I'll show you a
I don't
trailer.
know, this seems really high for the level of television this probably is.
No,
Like,
this is honestly, man,
Next
a
to an
great show.
actual like TV series, this doesn't even compare. This is like
Oh, no, this is
reality
better.
TV shit.
I think it's better, man. Watch this show. So watch this trailer here for the season 10 preview.
Okay.
So this is like one of the best shows that there is. I think it's a hidden gem people don't know about.
I don't know much if I believe if it's actually
Also, it's
real.
like everyone. No, it is. You could tell, man. You could just tell how. No, it's definitely real. I mean, you can hear accounts, and you could also just tell. Like you could watch them like starve. It's a lot. I mean, a lot of people don't last more than like 3-4 days because they like have to tap out, and then just the psychological issue that hits everyone. And like when you haven't seen anyone
I've
for like
mentioned this before, man. Like all this reality stuff, they're not going to allow somebody to die on television. That would completely ruin.
yeah. No, I get you, man. But I'm
Like,
telling you, this is
they're
like.
not- you can't have people dying on TV. It's not.
This
gonna,
is the one show that I feel like is like it has a realness to it more than other ones.
okay.
It's-
So this is
You
like
you gotta watch it and
this
you'd
is
be like,
the
okay,
realest of the fake.
this is the
reality.
realest of the reality shows, right? Yeah. Here's the trailer.
You know, I really believe that Appalachian Family was real too.
Oh yeah, that was
I'm gonna do
bullshit.
this, man. I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna fight this thing out to the last breath.
Wow, there's like nothing around.
They're in the
Okay.
Canadian Arctic on this one.
Game on.
They're trying to hunt bears and other things.
In
Fuck
Alone's
that.
most remote location yet. 10 participants set out to survive at all costs.
Our goal is to stay alive.
Battling extreme isolation.
There is no camera crews. You are.
What the
really
fuck was that?
They'll eat at you, tear you up. God, why? It's a battle. Nobody ever comes out the same.
Oh man.
It'd be impossible to.
And fierce predators.
Some big bear.
It's right outside my shelter.
Predators like that, damn sure gonna kill you.
Please don't rip my face off. He bit the hell out of me.
They'll endure merciless wind.
It's been over 60 hours and it has not let up.
I can hear the trees falling down around me.
And bitter cold.
This whole place has turned into a frozen hill.
Last one standing.
It's a moose.
No!
Wins.
It's also one of these shows, man. People get so like existential on it. Like that's what something that also feels real is because they start to like talk to the camera and like in a very like it gets very like
You know what it
emotional.
reminds me of is that Grizzly Man shit, that Werner Holmes,
Yes,
Werner Herzog documentary.
it's a lot like that because he essentially was doing something similar where he was like living off grid for
No, I know, but
you
you know
know
what legitimized it was him actually getting murdered by the bear.
yeah.
If he had just
yeah.
done all that and lived, I can guarantee you no one would have given as much of a fuck as they did.
Yeah, that one guy who had the thing in his
It
arm,
took
he got
him
something.
and his girlfriend getting their heads fucking torn off.
That one guy in his arm, he had things like some kind of. He had he fell and he got something stuck in his arm, and he didn't want to tell the medical people because you know as soon as you tell them, they like try to
What
get you
was
off
it?
the
Just like a
show.
splinter?
It was a splinter that like he couldn't get out until like 3 or 4 days later. You know, sometimes splinters are like that. They like kind of force themselves out. So like
Yeah, no,
he eventually was
I have
able to
like
like
a
take it out.
horrific memory of my cousin Greg. His deck was like this shoddy shit wood, and he had a splinter like at least 2 inches long, and it took my mom, my aunt, and my other aunt, all three of them, like holding him down, putting his foot up on the sink, and like tearing it out of his foot. And it was fucking huge. And honestly, they probably should have like maybe, you know, done something more to get it like what's it called? Like
Hospital stuff or some kind of medical attention.
no, like tetanus, like some kind of tetanus
okay.
shit. I mean, it was wood, so I guess tetanus is only from metal, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, my dad told me like a really fucked up story where they had this really grimy water hole that sometimes trash would float into, and they had a tire swing, and somebody flew in with the tire swing, and a really rusty lid of a garbage can was floating around, and it cut this kid's stomach like wide open, and his intestines were like floating in the water. And I was like, holy fucking shit, man. That was like fun in the
Yeah, it was fun back then.
mid 70s. That and the, you know, like drinking and driving was standard practice because there was like really no like they were not really enforcing the shit. And then a lot of the cars back then did not have airbags. And like there's so many just instances of like people like flying through the windshield of cars, and it like was really not that big of a deal. Like it would happen like every other month or so.
It's actually kind of cool. I see one of the lone guys is on Joe Rogan. There's one guy. Like some of these guys are able to like shoot deer and like this one. Like a couple people who have actually won got like big game. Like this one guy killed a musk ox like with a knife, and everyone who's won this show always gets like a big game. Like you do that, you're like fucking set. That's the big thing.
I don't know, man. I feel like you're getting manipulated.
Dude, I don't know, man. I've seen this show for a long time, and it just seems super tough, like to actually be out there. Where it's like, it's funny too, because you feel like such a piece of shit, like sitting on your couch eating popcorn or something, watch these people starve to death, basically.
Well, that's part of it. That's why
and
it's
then like
so
I don't know,
impactful and successful.
but there's some people that are pretty crazy out there. So, and then also a lot of these people, they have this like existential crisis when they come back to reality. I've heard them talk about in the podcast. You know, like they're out there for.
This feels like Real Housewife stuff for.
No, man. Honestly, man, all I'll say is check the show out and you will understand. My number one on the list is I Think You Should Leave. The show needs to be talked about more, but I think this is the best show I've seen. Season 3, I think it's the best thing I've seen, and all I can say to that is,
you sure about that? You sure about that? That's why? You sure it wasn't because after the thing that happened to me, no one could look at me without dying laughing? You sure about that? You sure about that's not why?
No, yeah, I think the show is great. Especially for a sketch show, this is a great. It actually won, I think, an Emmy.
Yeah, sketch comedy is hard, and honestly, like he has really more than most so many clips that get recirculated and regurgitated and repurposed, and that's because it just seems like a lot of the content's fucking good, you know? Even the stuff that we're not like clipping out.
Oh yeah, there's a lot of stuff you can't clip out because like we tried clipping stuff out and they don't want you to show it.
Was he on SNL a little bit?
Yeah, he was a disgrace. He got fired from SNL, which is like,
It seems to be like the new trend is like getting
Yeah, look at
fired
this.
from SNL is better for your career than staying on that shit and slow dying as some fucking
yeah.
you know,
Well, look at this.
asshole.
Tim
When, like,
Robinson
the,
is probably some of the best in comedy. Shane Gillis is some of the best in comedy.
Yeah,
both
that's what
fired
I'm
from
saying. It's
SNL.
like, I mean, I'm looking for whoever's like about to be on SNL and gets canceled. Sign me up.
Yeah, they look pretty bad these days.
Get 'em a
Remember we
TV
went through their
show or
list.
a podcast or a special.
Said no gag gifts, and Julie gave me chode jeans, and I almost killed myself. What are chode jeans? Chode jeans. They're jeans for a chode. Size 54 waist, 10-inch legs, fucking junk. Julie gave them to me.
It was just a joke.
I almost killed myself, Julie.
I'm not doing it. I don't even want to be around anymore.
What?
I don't want to be around anymore.
Like you don't want to live anymore?
I don't know.
Yeah, so many
That was my
times
favorite
at work where I wish I could just like pull up this clip and like show it to somebody, asking me to do something.
Yes, it was definitely my favorite. Definitely my favorite show. I've seen it multiple times that season, so I gotta put it on the list. But again, I'm telling you, check out Alone, man. You will like it.